Hi, I'm Joanne Cary. Welcome back to Embodied Soul Podcast, a multidimensional space intended to support you in living, being, and thriving as the embodied soul you are. Today I'm called to share from the beach about the sacred womb, the space of creation within all of us, and how it's being remembered, restored, and reclaimed as part of our collective awakening, what you might be experiencing, and some suggested practices to move you through it. If you're wanting to join me, pull up a comfy chair, invite in your soul, and be open to receive exactly what you need to live, be, and thrive as the embodied soul you are. I want to start this episode a bit differently. I'm down at the beach. I am embracing the natural waters, the ocean, and the womb space of Mother Earth. If you think of the waters as within the womb of the earth that holds our body, I want us to breathe in and out of that. So see yourself breathing deep into your belly, maybe touching your belly. As you listen to the waves, watch them if you wish, but feel yourself being held within the nourishing waters of the womb of creation. Breathe and settle down into the lower belly. Thanks for taking that moment to ground down and feel the energies that are coming from the ocean and from the consciousness of Mother Earth. The womb isn't just an organ in our body. It really is a multi-dimensional interface that receives, it gestates, and it births. But not just in the physical, but in frequency. It is the original creative chamber where ideas and timelines and realities are conceived, a space that naturally harmonizes polarities, the masculine and the feminine, light and matter, cosmic and earthly. A sacred resonance chamber tuned into the vibration of I am creator. And for those guys that might be listening to this, I don't want you to tune out, because even though there's part of this that's about a physical womb, you don't need to have a physical womb. The energetic womb space sits roughly between our sacral and our root chakra. It's the still point of creation, and every human carries it in their energetic template because every soul was born from the creative field of source. This is where inspiration, intuition, manifestation come together. So the womb is not a gendered space. It's the point where the infinite becomes form within each and every one of us. I was called to speak about the womb as it's been both something I've been working with and experiencing in my physical body and in my dream and liminal space teachings for a number of months now. But more recently, a number of community members and in a couple of comments on some of my more recent videos, people have been sharing about the fact that they've been feeling the energy within their womb space. They've been feeling their ovaries. They've been feeling the changes and releases and energetics that are happening. And I knew that that was the call for me to share my experiences that I've had to this point and some tips on what you might do, and just so regardless of where you are and what you might be experiencing, because everyone's their own unique being and you're on your own unique path and you've had your own unique physical experiences and you're going to have your own unique dream experiences or physical tangible experiences of energy in your body. And I want to give you a little bit of an overview of how I've been experiencing it, what my guides have shared with me that I've been able to integrate to make my own understanding of some of the things that were a little bit scary and uncomfortable, to understand how it is all working and what we are being called into now, what's happening now on the planet, and why so many people are beginning to experience the feeling and sensations or bodily experiences of the womb space. I'm going to start with just a few ways that this may be showing up for you, because it's happening on multi-layers. So for instance, you might be feeling a release layer. That's the release of stored trauma, ancestral pain, grief, sexual wounding. And this can feel like heat or pulsing or cramping or like emotional ups and downs. You might be experiencing the awakening layer, and this is more renewed sensitivity, increased libido, creative surges, interesting dreams or memories surfacing up into your conscious awareness. You might be going through a repatterning layer where you're clearing technologies and contracts tied to control, harvesting, siphoning, reproductive interference in the subtle planes and in our collective memory. And you might be experiencing the creative layer, which is a return to our own natural creation, where we're manifesting from purity and alignment rather than from fear and manipulation. So if you're feeling unusual energies in your womb or your your lower belly, it's often a sign of the release and renewal. Your body remembers, and it's clearing old control signatures so your creative essence can flow freely again. So I say that as a context to a few examples that I'm going to share with you. What I've experienced in my dream state and in my liminal teaching experiences is that there has been a lot of distortion. There have been control and manipulation technologies implanted, transmitted into our field, meant to suppress us, limit us, control us, keep us in fear for the benefit of those, for lack of a better word, in power. Those people, beings, consciousnesses over the course of time, not necessarily with malintent, but certainly evolving in a way that has limited our expression and our evolutionary growth. And this is what we are shifting out of right now. And I was shown and experienced in my physical body in ways that I've shared with some that was pretty scary for me, because my guides have a tendency to give me an experience of what others might be experiencing or what other lifetimes have experienced or humanity has experienced. And they give that experience to me with no context within my dream and liminal space so that I can feel what people are feeling and where I can see patterns in myself. And then they show me the true nature of what has been distorted, the true nature of what has been sort of usurped or taken away from its true source intention. But until you understand that it's all perceived through our layer of reality, and I've talked about this in another episode, about we're seeing multidimensional realities and all time is now. So there's only one now moment that contains all potential, all probabilities, all infinite creation. And so depending on what we're seeing or experiencing, we're being shown that level of what that technology looks like from that layer of density, that level of consciousness. And it's not for us to judge it or get hard on ourselves or think we've done something wrong. It's being shown to us now because it is time for us to release it. It's time for the distortions to be released, dissolved. And this is not something we have to do by mental force or effort. This is happening because of the collective frequency, not only on Earth, but for each individual person. So as each individual person can see it and allow it, the healing happens automatically, and we clear all of these distortions that have kept us limited. And so I felt it as where there's, a siphoning of energy, of sexual energy, of creative energy. I felt it and experienced it as the womb space, like where my womb will literally vibrate, or I will feel my ovary vibrate. And then maybe the other one, and feeling the interaction of where the different technologies connect into my energetic system to create a response that they wanted. They being those who are benefiting from us being limited and in fear. And what I think is so important to take away from this isn't to scare us. This is to realize that in our collective humanity and in the energetics, there has been limitation, and there have been things that we have been born into that are now ready to be released, seen, and restored. Because you have to remember that every single one of these distortion, control, manipulation technologies, especially around the womb space and reproduction and sexual energies, they all connect back to our sacred geometry, the original foundation and structure and architecture of reality, of who we are as creator beings. And they've been kind of flipped on their head in order to control and limit for different purposes. And so we are able now, through sheer witnessing of it, through seeing it in our dream space, through being aware of what's happening in our sacral root area, in our womb space, to be, this is what's happening. This is clearing distortions now, so that we are lifting higher, we are moving beyond it. And so if you notice yourself coming into fear, just gently allow yourself to lift up a little bit higher, maybe out of your body. See it from the perspective of your soul and higher self. Recognize it as bringing it forth for you to see it, so that it can gently move away, that it can dissolve, and that you are actually reclaiming and restoring the original divine template, the original divine sacred technology, not that has been distorted over thousands of years and many, many incarnations. So every distortion is a flipped reflection of something that was true, that was pure, that was divine, that felt so beautiful, which is how it actually helped us get into this pattern, this lull, this entrainment with it, because it felt so close to what source is. And so when we meet it without fear, we can actually flip the mirror. We can flip the technology back over so that it's acting from its divine and native place. And at this point, I want to just take a moment to reflect on the fact that for eons, the feminine principle, not just in women, but in humanity's creative aspect, has been suppressed, sexualized, or controlled. And that suppression translated physically into womb trauma, spiritually into creative stagnation, where we weren't able to be the manifestors, the true creators we are, and collectively into imbalance, what we're seeing outpictured in our reality right now. And the current wave of womb awakening is part of the planetary rebalancing, restoring the feminine current or the feminine energy flow into its rightful place in creation. And we have to be careful not to go into off balance, right? The perfect space is a divine balance between feminine and masculine energies. So this includes reclaiming our sexual energy as life force rather than control currency. It's about healing the energetic lineage of motherhood, fertility, and creativity. And it's about inviting men and all beings to awaken into their own inner womb, the still point of gestation before action. We all have it. Again, I'm going to say it again. This isn't just about the physical womb in the female gender. This is the energetic womb of creation that we are all operating from as creator beings. We all have it because we came from that creative spark of source, and that's where we are now. So I want to give you a few things that you can do or weave into your life, and that's to breathe into the lower belly. Maybe putting your hands down and softly touching your belly. Letting golden or rose light expand from within the center of your belly, center of this womb space, that space between your sacral and your root. And allow that to soften. The womb opens through safety. It doesn't open through our willpower, our force, our effort. That bleeds into exactly the control that we have been under. Supported in grounding. Walk barefoot on the earth if you can. Connect with the energy of water. I think that's why I was called down to the ocean, because this represents that that connection with the earth, that womb of creation. You can even lie on the earth if you want to harmonize the natural rhythms. And you might even think of that the ocean tides, the in and out, is that contraction and expansion of energetics. Our natural flow of the female moving out and then the masculine energetics as it comes in. You can support yourself by just allowing creation again. We've been so taught to follow specific paths and steps and flow charts and be a certain way and be quiet, all of the things. So when you give yourself a chance to write freely, to dance, to paint, to sing, anything that lets that womb energy express physically in your life, you're going to be supporting the womb healing. Your own creative expression, your own return to the I am creator energy. And witness anything that comes up for you. Physical sensations. Like I had, in one case, it felt like someone stabbed a knife down through my ovary. It was physically painful in my liminal space, and I felt it in the physical cells of my body. So this is not all easy. This is not all comfortable. But I'm sharing this because if you experience it, I want you to be able to witness it without fear. I want you to be able to witness it as clearing ancestral patterns, clearing collective energies, clearing and supporting it from the earth so that we can return to our own divine nature. Because remember that all of these things that we're experiencing are the energies surfacing now that are ancient patterns that are leaving our field, both individually and collectively. And before I wrap up this episode, I'm just going to cover just the grander perspective, or the more macro perspective, which is, although we're doing this personally, it's about remembering that the womb, the energetic or the physical, is a cosmic gateway between the worlds. That humanity's collective womb, which is Gaia's core, Mother Earth's core, is also awakening, releasing distortions from millennia, thousands of years of suppression and control. And as each one of us heals our inner womb fields, it contributes to the planetary restoration of organic, natural creation. So your womb is remembering itself as a source technology. You're not being invaded or manipulated or controlled now. You are witnessing the clearing of what once was. The power that once seemed eternal is being reclaimed within you. Do you understand that? We are each reclaiming it within ourselves. And that's exciting. That is powerful. That is world-changing. And so, with that said, I want to bring forth and ask for your support in sending such gratitude out to Mother Earth, to our bodies, and to every single person who hears this transmission, this episode, sending energy to that womb space and feel it soften, feel it, receive it. And I'm going to end this with allowing the waves to continue for another few minutes. Oh, 1 second. I'm just called to bring through a couple moments of light language. Aushutukoya miyatama kura shatama ikia satakaura. Amashutukura ikiatama arashi kiatama aukwa. Amashutikia, amashutukura yama ana ashitikia satakura. Amashatikia ama iya tarakura shatama ikia satamara. Ashutukoya, ashutamoya kia tamara ayasikia amakoya iatama. We send gratitude and thanks in return for all that you are going through, all that you are saying yes to, and we support you fully in your awakening and in your return and restoration to the powerful creator you are. Aushutukoya. I want to say thank you for being a part of this episode. If you have loved this transmission, please like it, share it, turn on notifications, and subscribe to my channel. It really does support, get the energies and messages out to those who need it. And remember, the womb remembers, and through it, so do we. I look forward to seeing you on next week's episode of Embodied Soul.